Welcome to Cranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Cranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always wins. Come on, let's get into it. Good evening. Bless up, everyone. Thanks for joining the show. Should be an interesting show today. Today's show will be very targeted, people. We're focused on the Reggae Boyz squad, the squad that's just been dropped, because we have the official squad for the upcoming qualifiers against Trinidad Tobago and Bermuda. I'm going to go through Steve McClaren's press conferences, where he talked about who's available, his selection process and policy, and what it all entails. So we're going to watch the press conference live. We're going to discuss it and provide a perspective we normally do on questions asked, views provided, and I have some takes I'm going to be putting in there. But before I jump into the Reggae Boyz discussion, I'm going to say one thing. I have two shows coming up. I'm hoping to do one tonight at 9 p.m., doing my assessment, a very thorough one, of the debate between the Prime Minister and the opposition leader, that is Holness and Golding. And then tomorrow I have a 3:30 discussion on a very controversial topic, does God exist, with Pastor Lansley Blake. So hope you can join me for those two shows. The show tonight at 9 p.m. is on my Balanced View channel, not doing it on Cranky Live. It's a Balanced View. So if you want to go to the debate, which I think was very interesting, if you're interested in those things, and talk about what points didn't. When I listened to all the different commenters, I found it really interesting. So to provide my view. But let's jump into this. So the Reggae Boyz squad was named, and there are a number of missing persons. Probably the most prominent of the missing persons is, before I jump into this, let me just acknowledge people in the chat. One Love, who are commenting actually, because a number of you will comment. One Love, Nigel, Uptown IG, Tycoon, Mr. Tycoon, thanks for being here. And also, people, as you come in, please hit the like button. I promise to be really nice today. I'm in a good mood. Bless up, Drew Ross. Thanks for joining. Please hit the like button. Don't let the number of people in the chat exceed the likes, because normally people come and go. And if that's the case, that means a number of people have hit the like button. I don't know why I have my name up, my Cranky up here, but anyway. But what we're going to do first is listen to the press conference. You should jot your notes down and tell me what jumps out at you. And then also what we will do is think about or talk about the questions that were posed, the responses to those questions. And also want to garner from you your view as to how do you feel? Because to be frank, if you've been following me for a while, I've been very optimistic, enthused, not cautiously optimistic, but very optimistic, very confident about our work of qualification prospects. I think this is the worst I have felt since the whole process started, since day one to now. Obviously, that's affected by not garnering the players that we want to garner, coupled with some things that have transpired. But without further ado, let me play the press conference. And then we'll talk about the squad, and I'll put the squad up. All right. So let me do this. yeah, it's not been the best feeling on my part. And let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear this. I don't think they started talking yet. I can move this forward. You guys are not hearing it because I'm not hearing it either. Uh-oh. That's not a good start. Let me try to turn this up. Show what's happening here. Hello. No, it's low. I don't know why it's so low. Hello. Yeah, I can barely hear this. Can you guys hear it? This is not good. It's very low. I'm not sure why it's so low.
Against Trinidad and Tobago. I'm joined with the head coach of the Jamaica senior men's national team, Coach Steve McClaren.
Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Some opening remarks.
Because it's not loud.
After that, we get into
I don't know if it's me or them.
And of course, questions from members of the media. But before doing so, I want to acknowledge the work has been.
If you can't hear it, turn your device up because I can't get it any louder.
I want to say thanks to the technical team of Kingston.
And also, there's a caption there so you can see it.
For setting of this together.
Can you wait? Let me stop it. Can you guys hear it at all? I gotta figure this out. Can you guys hear? I was trying to download the video very low. Let me just see. I don't know why it's so low because I played it earlier. You say it was low during the telecast. Yeah, I know, but I should be able to increase the volume, and I have no idea why. Because my volume is all the way up, right? Let me just see something. I gotta turn these things to the maximum. I did. And it's still not coming up.
So that is greatly. Thank you very much for your help.
Turn your device up to the head. I can't get in a lot of people. Sorry.
Into some remarks.
Now my mic is good. You guys can hear me clearly, right? My mic is good.
Welcome, ladies, gentlemen. Pleasure to be here, back here, and looking ahead to football. As you see from the squad, there's 26 in the squad. We have quite a few injuries and quite a few niggles.
Turn your device up low, people. I can't get it louder. Please turn your device up as loud as possible.
And the injuries we have got, Andre Blake, Deshaun Bernard, who's been long-term, Latiba Dier with bone bruising, Bobby DeCoba-Reed, who's very close to coming back, and Leon Bailey, who very unfortunately celebrated joining Roma, and his first training session unfortunately got an injury, which is quite a few weeks. So we miss them. The size of the squad is more than normal, 26. Why? We've got quite a few niggles. We've got games this weekend, so we're awaiting if players come through. We've got the likes of Ian Frey, who's returning from a adductor injury, who played 90 minutes for the first time the other night. And we're hoping that he doesn't have side effects. He's got a final on Sunday, and we're going to assess him after that. Ethan Pinnock played 60 minutes on Tuesday. He's been injured in pre-season. We hope he plays tomorrow to get some minutes as well. We assess him. Amari Bell, seeing if he plays tomorrow. He has a little niggle too. Anglin, as everybody probably saw on the island, and I did, that he got a hamstring injury, came off. We're hoping that it's not too bad, but he needs also assessing tomorrow. So we have one or two situations where we might lose players. I didn't want to bring in players last minute, so that's why we've had additions to the squad. We welcome new players. Kyle Duncan, we've been following for quite a while, New York Red Bulls. And watched him quite a few times, a lot of potential. So we bring him into the squad. Kadamatari from Sheffield Wednesday. Watched him last year when he was on loan at Lincoln. He's gone back to Sheffield Wednesday, had a terrific start to the season, and I look forward to seeing him on the training field and in the games. And of course, Ian Frey, We followed him from the first day we're here. Again, he's been unfortunate with injuries, and he needs a run of games. He's getting that with Inter Miami now and getting stronger, and can play right back, centre back, and centre midfield. So somebody who is the future of Jamaica, but I see him as also for now. So I hope that he can come through the weekend okay. In terms of looking forward to the two games we've got, Bermuda next Friday. I know Naki Wells very well. I coached him, so he's just been brought into the squad or back into the squad, so he will be a big threat. They've got tremendous spirit, which we have to match, and we have to respect the opponent. We know that from BVI experience, our St. Vincent experience, and my motto is no easy games in the Caribbean, and that one will not be. And then, of course, we have Trinidad on the 9th in the National Stadium. Be nice to go back there. Old rivals, I think they're growing, and Trinidad are what I call a dangerous team. Got dangerous players, good players, and with Dwight York, they're starting to build something. So, old rivals, we seem to have played Trinidad more than anybody else in my year already, but we look forward to that. In terms of absentees, yeah, we disappointed to lose Hibbert to Canada. I spoke with him the last few weeks several times. He has the option of US, Canada, and Jamaica. And yeah, he wants to have a look at Canada. It's by no means set in stone that he will play there, but we will keep in contact and keep pursuing him because we see him as also a future player for Jamaica. We have Rico Henry, who, yeah, he's had a bad injury for a full year. He's just come back. He's finding his feet, finding his way, and obviously acquiring documents and a passport, which he needs to do, but also get more games under his belt, which he needs. Cameron Archer, another one who will, we hope, next week come to Jamaica to finalize his documents, citizenship, to get a passport, maybe ready for October window. Max Aarons, which will be similar. Lewis Baker, whose documents were very complicated. And lastly, and by no means what everybody's waiting for, Mason Greenwood finally acquired his passport. A lot of work was done behind the scenes from the likes of Simon and other people in the government as well. We acquired a passport, and we expected him to be coming to this camp, but on a conversation with his family, he's not going to commit at this time to anybody. So he's taking his time over that. So it's a little bit disappointing. We probably have to be more patient, but we will keep the contact. We'll keep pursuing him because I know from my conversations with Mason, and that he loves Jamaica, he respects Jamaica. He wants to concentrate on club football and not commit to an international team at the present moment. We have to respect that. However much we've worked hard to get him here for these camps, so who knows in the future. One probable that is maybe a surprise is Mikel Antonio on there, and Mikel is on there. He's in the squad. Why? Because from day one, I can say he has been the most committed player to Jamaica and the cause, the most committed, the most vocal. And he wants to see Jamaica in World Cup 26. That's what he told me on day. The injury, horrific injury which he got, he hasn't stopped believing that he can help us. He talks to me regular about Jamaica, about the World Cup, and what he can do to help. And that's right. he's in the squad because I want him to help us for three reasons. The future, because he wants to play again. It's unbelievable what he's been through, and he still wants to play football, and he wants to play football at a high level, and he's working hard to do that. We've watched his progress, obviously, in the summer. We brought him into the Gold Cup squad. I've watched him since. He's training with West Ham. I've watched him play two games for the under 21s. He's building his fitness up. He hopes to get a club by next week. And to build his fitness, I think he can come and join us and train with us, and build his fitness. He will provide competition for the other strikers, competition for the players. There is no better warrior on the field than Mikel. So, in the second reason he's here is because of that. I want him on the training field. I want him driving training, which he does, and he wants to be the best, and he wants to prove that he can be the best. So he still thinks he's better than everybody else, and he wants to come here and prove that. And the key thing is, he's such an influence in the dressing room and around the place with his leadership, his example. He's a big influence, and therefore no hesitation in bringing him in to the squad to help us, and to prove himself. So that sums up the squad, the games that we've got ahead. I look forward to it, and obviously any questions, please fire away.
Thank you very much, Coach. Before we get to the questions, just to run through for those personally who are here. Goalkeepers, Shaquan Davis, Jamali Waite, Tafari Chambers. Defenders, Dexter Lembakisa, Kyle Duncan, Damian Lowe, Richard King, Ethan Pinnock, Mason Holgate, Amari Bell, Greg Lee. Midfielders, Isaac Hayden, Ian Frey, John Russell, Casey Palmer, Karoy Anderson, Kevin Lambert, and Jashawn Anglin. And the forwards, Kaheem Dixon, Demarai Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, Tyrese Campbell, Warner Brown, Mikel Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, and Bailey Kadamatri. So we'll now open the floor for questions. Please raise your hand, and once you're indicated, you can pose your question to Coach McClaren. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Simon. John Stewart, JFF Live. So, a number of the Reggae Boys over the course of this summer made a number of moves to new clubs in hopes of either getting more game time in the case of Kaim Dixon, or just playing at a higher caliber in terms of the tier of football. How do you think this bodes for our preparation for the upcoming qualifying games?
I think it's important. That was one of the key messages that were delivered to the team after exiting the Gold Cup, was we have an opportunity now to get a good pre-season under the belt, for players to get settled at new clubs, which quite a few of them were out of contract, and they've achieved that, and to play minutes. The thing with this summer and the difficult we've had with picking this squad is the injuries that we've picked up, and also the niggles at this beginning of the season, which is normal. But I do think, because of the program that we had in the summer with the Unity Cup, with the World Cup qualifiers, and with the Gold Cup, we maybe exceeded ourselves in terms of that month of football, the games, the travel, and the players were visibly tired at the end, and that has passed on into pre-season, where quite a few players have received injuries or niggles. So in one respect, the Unity Cup was fantastic. I always wanted to bring Jamaica to the UK. But maybe on reflection, and that's the biggest reflection I have of the summer, is that maybe we'd have been better just not having so many games and competition and travel, and just focusing on the World Cup qualifiers and the Gold Cup. So I think we overstretched ourselves. That's the lesson that I've took from that. And as you can see, we're also still suffering because of injuries and niggles to players. But hopefully they'll come through. They've had a good pre-season, good recovery, and we've picked a squad who have had varying amounts of minutes, and we'll try and to shuffle so that we get the maximum out of every player for the 2 games.
Just another question, coach. Given that you worked as I believe, a technical advisor, if I'm not mistaken, with FIFA before taking the job with the national team, you were set to analyze a couple of teams in the region. Did it catch you off guard just how well some of the smaller teams around the, well, supposed to be small teams around the competition played in terms of their play style as well as the results they took, not just from us, but around the competition?
Yeah, you see it. You know that I think was it Guatemala and Honduras reaching the Gold Cup semi-finals. No one would say that beforehand. And you're absolutely right. CONCACAF is different. Caribbean football is different. It's exciting. It's a great brand of football. It's athletic. It's strong. It's quick. And so yes, every player has to adapt. Every coach has to adapt. And I'm exactly in that boat. We've adapted, and the one thing, the big lesson I've learned is that no easy games in the Caribbean. We have not had an easy game, even against nations which you think we should beat easily. I think what I see is, that the team overcomes a team of individuals. So what St. Vincent had, what the BVI had, other teams' spirit, and you will see Bermuda exactly the same. They have a great spirit. They have good little players, and I've watched them against Honduras, 2-0 up at half time. Okay, lose 5-6-3, but also the second leg only losing 2-0 and providing Honduras with a battle to win the game. And we expect that. So we have to, I think the first thing is be aggressive and have that spirit together. We match the spirit, then we have the quality to win games. But I think that's the lesson that I've learned is the spirit comes first. You have to overcome that in the opponent in the Caribbean, and then hopefully the quality will come through.
Thank you, coach.
Any other questions? Someone can step forward to the microphone and be able to pose your question. All right, go ahead, Bryce.
Good morning, Reggae Boyz from the Jamaica Gleaner.
Good morning.
Coach, 2 questions. Firstly, after the Unity Cup, there's a lot of excitement about the team's ambitions for the World Cup, but then the Gold Cup would have brought some doubts in the minds of fans. How important are statement performances against Bermuda and Trinidad, especially Trinidad at home, to really inspire back more confidence in the fans that this might be the time for the Reggae Boyz to make a second appearance at the World Cup?
Look, you're absolutely right. The Unity Cup was a great experience. Anybody who was there, for the local staff, for the local players to visit the UK, visit Chelsea, visit Brentford, and the staff to have a look at what it's like in the UK football is a one-off experience. The support that Jamaica got in that in the games in the Brentford Stadium was incredible, and people still they pull me now and say, when I go down to London, how much they enjoyed that week, the 2 games against Trinidad and Nigeria, and the way the spirit of the team and how they played. So I think it was a great exercise. But in the end, we really in the summer, what we did, we focused on the World Cup qualifiers. Our main priority was to finish top of the group, so we stayed in pot 1, and we built from the Unity Cup, and I think it was the best performance that we'd had in the year that I've been in charge, especially at the National Stadium, was beating Guatemala. I think it was a great performance. We scored goals, which we'd never done at the National Stadium before, and we controlled and dominated the game. And I think that's where we peaked. We kind of, a big emotional high for us. and you could see, okay, we competed against Guatemala, um, Guadeloupe. We came back, controlled the game, but you could see the last 15 minutes that the tiredness was there. And the Panama game, when you look at the Panama game, the start was very poor. The rest of the game, um, yeah, we created chances. Should have had a penalty. Could have been different, but it wasn't, and we went out. It was a harsh lesson, but one in which, yeah, if we had to plan again, we probably wouldn't have the Unity Cup. But we are where we are, and I think it was a great experience the whole summer, good and bad, because the team were lauded after Guatemala, and obviously the other side of football, going out of the Gold Cup was a huge disappointment. Now we have to come back strong, and this is what we've worked a year for from day one. As I said, we want commitment from the players. We want that spirit from the players because we have the quality. So we look forward to the 6 games, but we have to start well, and Bermuda will not be easy.
As my follow-up question, Coach, Jamaica has made it no secret that we're looking to recruit players with a global experience. But this isn't an uncommon phenomenon we see where teams in the group, in particular Curacao, have also been recruiting overseas. One of those players they reportedly have have acquired is Tai Chung, a player as I believe you'll be familiar with that Manchester United connection. How closely have you been following these new arrivals to the Caribbean for the other teams so that we aren't caught unaware when we face them on the field?
Like I said to you, I think the key thing was what I've seen in CONCACAF, Caribbean football, is the spirit of teams, the togetherness, and that comes from continuity. That comes from a consistent squad, and that's what we've tried to do. We've tried a lot of players in the past year, and we've tried to establish a core squad, and I think that's important. I think I was talking to Simon, and quite a few years ago, introducing 6 or 7 players from the UK, from abroad, into the Jamaican team and playing Panama and losing 3-0. It doesn't always work that you instantly get success or instantly get results. Like I have experienced, and other players I know have experienced, you need quite a while in the CONCACAF in Caribbean football to learn exactly what it's all about and what it takes to win. And we want to keep that core group together, and the players who know how to win at this level and know the experience that Bermuda will not be easy, that Trinidad is also a dangerous opponent. We need that. So sometimes you can get a lot of newcomers coming in and being shocked and surprised by what they're playing against, the fields that they play on, and the travel. It's exhausting, and you have to get used to that. So we wanted to keep a squad together that knows this, that has been through the fire, that has had good results, bad results, and there's only one goal now, and it's from the start of the year, is to qualify for World Cup 26.
Thank you, Bryce. Ronaldo?
Good morning, everyone. Ronaldo Adams, CVM Sports. Coach McClaren, in the recently published Reggae Boyz Road to 2026 watch list, under the forwards category, there are 19 forwards. And when I do speak to our fans, both locally and abroad, one of their most glaring issues, they say that we don't score enough goals. The obvious answer and the obvious solution would be to convert the chances when given. However, we do not create enough chances. So would you say that we need to work on the engine room in that midfield, or is it that we need to find a proper, cohesive forward line, despite the challenges of not having much time to work with the players? But what would you say is the issue, and what's the solution for that issue to score more goals?
Yeah, I think that's something that after the winter period, we assessed what we'd been doing for the 3 camps. And you are quite right, we weren't scoring enough goals. And we were quite solid at the back and keeping clean sheets. So getting results very close, but controlling the game through that. So we tried to see how we could score more. So I think one against St. Vincent, 3 in the second leg. I think 3 against Trinidad, 2 against Nigeria. Okay, 1 in the BVI, but 3 at home to Guatemala. And then obviously Guadeloupe 2. And Panama 1 and created a lot of chances in that. But saying that, we scored goals, but we conceded a lot as well. So all of a sudden, you try to rectify one issue, which is score, and then all of a sudden, you find you're leaking goals. And we've talked a lot about, and from my experience, everything is built around good defense. Good defense starts from the front. The front players have to work really hard to make sure the ball doesn't go through to midfield. If it does, it works so hard it doesn't go through to the back, and if it does, we defend the box for our lives. So if you keep clean sheets and you're good defensively, you have a very good chance of qualifying, winning competitions, winning trophies. I know that through experience. So that's something we need to focus on. We need to do that first. And we didn't do that during the summer period, although we did score a lot of goals. So we're trying to keep the goals going and making sure that we concede less. Because if we concede and become quite open, yes, you might win football matches, but yes, you might lose them. And that's what we experienced over the summer. We had that. So we have to get the balance right. And I think we talked about it a lot, focusing on the defensive side of things and making sure that we are a team that is hard to beat, hard to score against. And if we can be that, we know we've got the talent, we know we've got the speed and ability to create chances. And you're absolutely right. The conversion rate is not good. The chances created, we've improved on, but taking them, not so much. But still, the key in any championship or anything, defense wins. And I always remember a big lesson when I worked with Sir Alex, and coming to the last 10 games of the season. I said to him, "What do you want to work on?" He says, "I want to work on defense. You keep clean sheets, we don't concede goals, we'll win the league." And that's what it was. He built that Manchester United team on defense, and top teams do that. They're not easy to play against. They're not easy to beat. And they're always liable if they do that. The ability to score at the other end and win games.
Secondly, Coach McClaren, I also believe that it's very unfortunate that we have to plea with our fans to come out and support us, especially, the strength of the 12th man. But if you were to plea with the Jamaican faithful to come out and support against Trinidad, what would you say to them?
You're the most important people. I think it showed even in the Gold Cup. Okay, it was Guatemala. I know it was like an away game for us. Oh, what an atmosphere, fantastic. When you go to Nicaragua, fantastic. Honduras, great atmosphere. And the players love that. It may be against them, but they love that. But you imagine they love it even more when the crowd is full and they're supporting them. You had, like in the Unity Cup at Brentford was incredible. The support was, and then the celebrations, and you could see it from the players. And when it's an empty stadium or when you're away from, the emotion is not quite there. And football is an emotional game. And the one thing I've learned, Jamaican culture is emotional. It's way up there or it's way down there. It's never in between, which is great. But the only way that we can get up there is through everybody. And it is a remark, the 12th man. But really, honestly, a full stadium, these players love it. And we want more of it. And we had that, Guatemala, I thought the Guatemala game as well, in the National Stadium was great atmosphere. You could see the way the players integrated with the crowd. When the crowd are not there and the crowd are quiet, there's no integration. And you have to have that in a football match. You have to have emotion on the field, emotion off the field, good and bad. And you have to sync that together. And if we could get a full house and good support and sync that together, it will be a difficult team to play against.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Ronaldo. Do we have any further questions this morning? David? Yes, go ahead. Yes, Roger. Thank you.
Good morning, coach, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Roger Hasford here from IRFM. Mr. Rudolph Speed has been appointed as part of your technical team. Could you, in your understanding of the situation, provide for us the information as to your understanding as to the role that he'll be assisting with you on the technical team?
Yeah, I think it's the role that I expected and wanted from the beginning. Was that relationship with Mr. Speed, because he brought me here. I spoke to him a lot of times before I came. He looked after me for 2 days while I was here, and it's probably my misinterpretation of things, but generally, somebody like that is like a technical director, and every coach needs somebody at the side, a technical director. The most successful organizations that I've been involved in, especially in football, it's everything's about a triangle. Everything is about a triangle, and if you get the triangle right, you will be successful. And that triangle starts at the top with the president, with the chairman of a football club, with the owner of a football club, because they are the ones who make the big decisions and the financial decisions. You get that. Then you have a technical director who works between the coach and the president. What do you want, coach? What do you want, coach? You're coming into a new culture. This is what the culture's like, coach. This is what the crowd need. This is what they want. This is the players that they need. And so the experience that the technical director has, and I'm not saying he's a technical director, Mr. Speed, but what I'm saying is the amount of experience, not just in coaching, but owning a football club, knowing the Caribbean football, knowing the coaching landscape, being successful at that. I said, how can I not tap into that? And I wanted, from the first day, Mr. Speed very close to us. Because of his roles in various other organizations, and I asked him to be very close at the beginning, and he said he didn't really want it because of all the other kind of responsibilities that he had within Jamaican football, which I understood. And it was only really since he came to the Unity Cup that we've had him close, and we like that, and we like that, and I love the president. He's fantastic. Anything that is happening, I can go straight to the president. I can go straight to Mr. Speed, and that's the job that he has. And I want to use the experience that he has on the island, he has of the players, of the opponents, of Caribbean football, of coaching, of his mind that he's got, because I respect it. You have to do that when you're being successful locally. So basically, for me, it's no different. He's stepping inside now instead of being on the outside. And we've had many conversations, and they're football conversations. And I've said that throughout, that we need more football, not talking about logistics and flights and hotels and is people getting their money, is people getting paid. It's football. Come on, let's talk football. And so, yeah, Mr. Speed coming in and helping on that side, not just myself, but the staff, and giving advice, whether we take it or we don't take it, that makes me a better coach, and that will make the team a better team. So, I was all for him coming closer, and I've been wanting it from day one. So it's no problem to me. And as I say, I hope the triangle that we've got with the president, and I call him a technical director, but Mr. Speed is that, and myself, when you have that triangle right within an organization and syncing together, you will get success. So we hope for that.
One more, and apologies if it was addressed earlier. There's a massive traffic on the road through bomb threats all over the place. But this situation regarding Mason Greenwood, we heard that he has gotten his Jamaican passport. The list your watch list did not include him. Can you give us an update as to if he's still a part of the thinking going forward in terms of Jamaica's football?
He's certainly not a part of our thinking for the next 2 weeks in terms of the camp and the players coming together. No, but for the future, of course, as a quality player, and it's quite simple. At the moment, he's not ready to commit to anything international football wise. We have to respect that, but also keep in touch with him, but focus on what we have and what we can control.
Thanks.
Thank you, Roger. We have David, Valprey TV. Good morning.
Morning, Coach. Morning, Simon. Coach, as it relates to the watch list, you had included Tyrese Hall and Janira Johnson, two young, fresh midfielders. We are seeing that they're not in the final squad. Can you speak about them and also speak about the options that you have in midfield currently? And are we any closer to providing a solution in that midfield to your liking, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, one of the best additions has been Isaac Hayden. I think he's come in, integrated really well in that number 6 role. He's the glue for us. We do need help with that. We do see Ian Frey as maybe a possibility for that role, though he's playing right back for Inter Miami and sometimes centre back. But Mascherano himself, the coach of Inter Miami, talks about him playing in midfield as well. So that is something for the future. And that may happen, if he comes through at the weekend. But yeah, the midfield is always Janara Johnson is a young player playing in Ajax second team. Just started the league. So he needs a little bit more experience. When you come to these games, experience is always the best. If you can get the blend right as well. Tyrese Hall, we've followed for quite a while now, and we're very fortunate he's got to move to Notts County, and he's getting minutes coming off the bench for them. So they're not regulars in their teams, Janara Johnson is not playing Eredivisie, First Division, but we will follow them and track them. And again, the way that youngsters now grow and build, we'd have no hesitation if it comes to that level and they get to that level that they can join the squad. So the future again, and I've said this to the JFF before, from coming in and after 6 months, I tell you something, we've done a lot of recruiting, a lot of it identifying players, and the players that we've identified are mainly young players. And I know those who change association are maybe the ones who their normal country, natural countries, they haven't been picked, so they can go for the second option. That's usually 26, 27, 28, but we've identified players who are 17, 18, 19 who are very interested in playing for Jamaica and have the quality for the future. And so I think whatever happens, the future is bright for Jamaican football. I think the coaching program that they have going in place, I think the youngsters coming through, they identify what is going on. And I think what we've done also in the UK and Europe is develop a kind of recruitment team. We follow a lot of players, a lot of young players, and we monitor them very closely. So, I know we need to qualify for World Cup 26. But believe you me, the next crop coming through after that, the younger players, that will be a good team.
Follow up, David.
Sure. Coach, also, we're seeing that a few senior figures are missing from the team, namely our captain Blake, Leon Bailey, and Latiba there. Are you looking at the other players to step up to really fill that senior role in the team, seeing that those key figures are missing from the squad?
Yeah, absolutely right. It's a good question, a good statement. Leadership is important, experience is important. We'll miss Andre Blake because he's been through this so many times. He knows what wins and what doesn't win, which is key. And the people who have gone out, that's right. Latiba is a leader. Andre is a leader. Leon Bailey in his own way to what he does. He's an influence and a leader. So we'll miss them, and we do expect the others to step up. It's one important reason why when Mikel and we spoke, that he said I could maybe help in the dressing room, I could help on the training field, and if you think so, I can help on the field. So that's one of the reasons we've done that. Leadership is important. We have plenty of it in the dressing room. Amari Bell, who did really well in the Unity Cup as a captain. Ethan Pinnock, who can do that role also. And we've got other experienced players. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. People need to step up now for the next 6 games.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, David. Daniel, morning.
Morning, Coach.
Daniel.
It's been a year since you've been here, and I know that you have tried a lot of players in the number 10 position, from McGee to Morrison. You've tried Bobby Reed, Demari Gray, and everything. Especially with no Leon missing, how do you, with these set of players, work out the creative side, knowing that's a huge part of what you try to do in the team?
It's a good question. And again, it's one of the things that I loved about the Unity Cup was that we had opportunity to give to the likes of Kahim, the likes of Cephas to start games, and the likes of, we brought in Burrell, who's moved to QPR. And we had a front three there who were very quick, very exciting, and some of the goals we scored were excellent. The maturity also of John Russell has been a big factor this summer, playing in that role that he does. And it's not necessarily that you need to play with a 10. We played the whole summer with 2 8s. That's either Demari Gray or Casey Palmer. And John Russell proved very effective in that. So, I think we've got the blend. In fact, we've got the speed, we've got the creativity. And the question earlier was absolutely correct. We create chances, but the conversion rate needs to be better. If we get that, then we'll win football matches.
Yeah. Knowing that we have 6 games, unlike the Nations League and the Gold Cup, which you said is to prepare, these 6 games are extremely vital, and you've spoken about players needing to be committed to the cause. Does it at all concern you that Greenwood has said that he's not committed at this time, knowing how important these games are?
Yeah, it's a disappointment for everybody, because he would have been a big asset and he would have come here and enjoyed his football. But look, as soon as that decision was made and he couldn't commit, you move on. And you don't harp on about it, and you don't go, well, what if this, what if that? You move on and you control what you can control. So we moved on very quickly from that. And we've picked a squad, and we're looking for the next 2 weeks, focus entirely on this squad.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. Marlon, do you have any question?
Marlon, yes.
Good morning, Coach. You mentioned Willow Speed coming to the technical advisory role, but are you looking forward to any more coaches or anybody is adding to the technical staff to help you?
Absolutely. And one of the key things when I came in, because I did want that, and the one thing that I've really learned a lot from is Merron Gordon. The first 3-4 months up until the Christmas period, I was learning on the job, and I want Mr. Speed there. But he said, no, you've got Merron. And Merron was a great help in terms of the culture, in terms of knowing players. And he's very smart at football as well, part of the coaching program. So he's got experience of that. And he's got experience of all the players throughout the years, previous coaches, what works, what doesn't work. And I don't think I would have survived the first 3 or 4 months without Merron Gordon being on the staff. And even after the Christmas period, when we had a local camp, we more or less put Merron in charge of that. He put a squad together, local players. He got coaches around him, Andrew Pate, And we played Trinidad twice, and we won the games. And he did a great job. So he's been a fantastic help for me, um, giving me advice. I don't know. It's not about me. It's not. It's about the players, and the better players you've got, that's great. But you need staff around you, also. And I've got a good staff at the moment. And yes, I've lost a couple along the way, but replaced them, and always had the likes of Trevor Sinclair, who's been great with the players as an ex-player, as half Jamaican. He can really integrate with the players, and he thinks like a player still, even though he is 84. But he he's good like that. And Meron, he's knows the culture, and to add Mr. Speed to that, um, as much information as possible. I need to make better decisions, on and off the field. So I think it will be a great benefit to have him closer to us and available at all times. And we said you can step into anything. I think we tried it at the Unity. He stepped into meetings, and he saw from afar what we did, got an idea of how we worked, and obviously he's no problem wanting to be a part of that, because what's the goal? The goal is not about me, it's not about anybody, it's about World Cup qualification. So the next 6 games. And yeah, if we can bring in anybody from the outside to help us, we will do that.
All right, just one more follow up, coach. You mentioned the niggles and the lack of minutes for some of your players, and then the lack of conversion for strikers. Trevor Stewart has started his season well. Can you explain his exclusion from the team?
Um, Very close to being on our standby list. Similar with Burrell, so similar with Romario Williams. We've got 5 or 6 players out of that group. Who, anything happens, no hesitation on bringing them in. So the experience that we've got, but also we've included Shamar Nicholson into the squad, because we felt, in the summer he'd finished his season early, and we've been watching and monitoring him, and there's a lot of support for Shamar, because Simon keeps telling me how many goals, Simon.
11 goals in 19 games against Caribbean opposition.
Yeah, so we wanted to bring Shamar in. Warner Brown has been doing very well, and Kadamatri we followed for a long while, and we like, and he's a little bit different. So Warner is a little bit of one. He's a runner. He's busy. He runs in behind. Shamar is one who holds the ball up, and he's a target for us, and could be good in the box when we get crosses in. And Kadamatri is kind of in between. He's kind of got the height and physique to be a big striker, but also his main threat is running in behind. So he's a combination of the two. So I think we have 3 there who obviously complement each other and can be used in whatever stages of the game that we need to use them in. And I'm waiting for to see Mikel training with the group again to really put competition to them 3 as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Marlon, for everybody that's here. One last one. Okay, MJ, go ahead.
Morning, coach. Morning, Simon. Coach, the entire front line that was selected for the past 5 games were both registered 1 goal at club level, and that's from Bailey Kadamatri. How do you plan to make these players who are misfired at their club click in the national setup?
Yeah, because we know they can score, and normally in the beginning of the season, you're picking up rhythm and things. So, yeah, we have players who can score, and you're absolutely right. We're always monitoring minutes and how many games they've played, and once you get into a regular flow, then that's easier. So it is difficult at the start of the season, but we have every faith that the likes of Cephas. You see the way that Damari Gray has started the season at Birmingham. Looks a completely different player. The player that we saw a few years ago in the Premier League and at Everton, and everybody kind of noticed him and wanted him. He can score goals, he can create. So it's score and assist. And we've got players in the squad who can score and can assist. And you're absolutely right, conversion rate has to be better. And the likes of Shamar, has got a lot to prove coming back into the squad. And we want him to prove that. We want him to prove that in training. We want him to prove that in games. And when he gets the opportunity to do that, we think Kadamatri can score goals, which he did at Lincoln last year. And he scored one already. Remember, they've only played 2 or 3 games. So there's time to come. We got good because Kaheem Dixon is playing at Crawley and playing very well. So we've developed and gone on a little bit. And Warner Brown has really, when we're looking for goals against St. Vincent, he comes on, gets the penalty last minute, gets the first goal, and he's carried that on. So he's got big goals for us as Warner Brown. But I think also John Russell has been a big plus in terms of being a threat from that midfield position, getting into the box. So it's not perfect. It's not exact, but we're getting there slowly but surely. We've been over the year trying to get the balance right, trying to get the midfield right, so that we can get the balance between attack and defense, as I said earlier. Thank you.
Thank you, MG. To everybody that is present, thank you very much for coming.
A lot to unpack. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Let me know they're out there in YouTube land. If you can hear me, I just woke up. I apologize. There's a lot of information that's being delivered. I'm going to try to be very positive this evening because it's very depressing actually. So I don't want to depress anybody, but I just make myself be depressed. I'll depress you. By the way, do me a favor, people. We are at 94 likes. Try to get me to 100 so I can stop whining and complaining about this. And I was looking at all the comments here, having perspective. If we look at the squad, it's an interesting squad. Well, it's not an interesting squad. I'm sorry. Jeez. It's players who we're familiar with. Let me just take a step back and say this. It was a long press conference, a lot of questions asked. Nothing overly intrusive or overly challenging. There are decent questions. They are what they are. Nothing which I think stirred the pot. And I think this press conference should sometimes. But things that jumped out at me was the first thing I'm always focused on is the players. Coach can say what they want to say and do what they want to do. I'm always believing that players make the difference, not necessarily coaches. Coaches can be differential in some respects if they're very visionary, strategic, thoughtful about what they do. They're the ones picking the squad, so they can affect things there. But if they have enough quality players, sometimes the players can overcome the coach and their ability. I did say from day one, having prior information that would make the World Cup despite the coach. I may have spoken too early. Actually. Now, look, I'm not going to fight a lot of people have mentioned the Anthony versus anybody else on the forward line, whether it's Stewart or Romario Williams or anybody else, or even Borrell. And the coach wants, I think Antonio is like another coach on the team, it appears, similar to a Henderson for Tuchel in England. Some coaches want certain players around them, given the leadership that they bring, and they are closer to the players than the coaches are. So I understand that's what somewhat. It does fly in the face of, though, in terms of credibility and merit base in terms of a player being the team, not necessarily for his playing base form, but mainly because he had other attributes which the coach valued, which he clearly alluded to. So if we take a step back and look at the squad, we have 3 starters missing, maybe 2.5. So we have Blake is our goalkeeper. I'm talking about true injuries, by the way. We're not talking about the burnouts of the world. They've been long-term injuries, but more recent injuries. Blake is out, which is a huge miss, in my view, regardless of his ability with his feet. He's just a brilliant shot stopper. Bobby Reed, who has been sort of injured over the summer, came back and played the last game and then got injured again, it appears. I think Reed is a leader. And if you have Reed, I'm not sure you need Antonio in terms of leadership. But he's a leader, but he's not there, which is a big miss in terms of his work ethic in the midfield. And then you have Bailey, who is Bailey. I don't have a lot to say on that, to be honest. He's a hit and miss, so not a lot to say. So those are misses in the videos who probably could have helped the team. And someone texted me today because, Reggae Boyz fans are ever present, everywhere, anywhere, watching every player. That Ray got hurt his shoulder today or something in the game, and they weren't sure. I didn't watch the game, and they didn't inform me at the end of the game. But during the game, they're watching the game, they called me right away and say, he looked like he hurt himself. I don't know what his status is. But the problem we have is this. It's not just about injuries. We have injuries. We have players with a form. We have players with no team. We have players who haven't played a lot of football. Now, we don't know the case for the other teams, and they may be better than us because their players may not be playing at the highest level, and may all have teams that they're playing for. I don't have that for a fact, but I assume that people like Trinidad, players are playing games, and we're not playing games. And we're not playing games, it's a problem. So the fact of the matter is, even Hayden just got QPR, not playing a lot of football. He played it for 90. Okay, someone had texted me and said he got hurt and he was holding his shoulders. I don't know what the story is, but you never know. You may play when your body's hot, and then when you sit down and things get better, you realize that, oh, you're not feeling well. So let's hope he's okay. Because actually we do need him more than ever in this, because we don't have a lot of experience in the forward line, because Antonio is not where he needs to be. Pinnock is not where he needs to be. He just played 60 minutes. Probably he's in training, but nothing like game time. And then for the players who we thought would have come in, because when I made my prognostication and talked about the team and my confidence, it was with a Greenwood. It was with a McClaren's. It was with a Rico Henry. I've been talking to people the entire summer involved in the process. Right? It was with Cameron Archer. Right? There were about 4 or 5. It was with Tyreek Mitchell. That was my confidence to say, I'm always believing that players make the difference. And we get those players, even though 3 of them are left back, and we get cute and a little more strategic, those players would be in the team and would be okay. Right now, and those are about 3 or 4 PL players in that list. Cameron Archer was in the PL, they got demoted. Tyreek Mitchell's in the PL. Rico Henry's in the PL. Right? So these were players who were playing at a high level, who I thought, given their competitive nature, their ability, and the level they're playing at, and then right now we don't have them. Yeah, he mentioned Cameron Archer would come to Jamaica to get his papers. I was told, so if we take a step back and just think about the team, Jamali Waite has been a good player for Jamaica, and I'm confident in him. And he's better with his feet than Blake, but maybe not as good a shot stopper. Treat them like the Arsenal player until you see them in the shirt. Just keep. Arsenal bought quality. You spent £300 million, a lot of money. Everyone has complained about the midfield. Now we're bringing in a couple of youngsters, and I know they're not playing at the highest level. I know Tyrese Hall went out on loan at Notts County, but I've gotten feedback from the UK that he's a very good player. We'll see if he gets game time at Notts County. Maybe not ready to bring him to the team. Janera Johnson, we have a lot about, and playing at a very at a level, maybe not at the Eredivisie, which is important to play. So he may not be totally ready, but I thought we'd have some young bloods come in and challenge the status quo in terms of who's in the team. The midfield gave me no cause for hope. We had Anglin and Lambert. I've seen them enough. Sorry, not to be rude, not to be critical. I don't think that's value for money. Ian Frey. I like Ian on the ball. I don't like Ian off the ball. Let me say it again. I like Ian at the ball at his feet. He can't run. He got 2 ACL injuries. To me, he's not as mobile as he needs to be to function in that capacity as a CDM or even a right back. Maybe into Miami, I understand. But to me, every time he steps, I'm like, he's going to hurt himself. But he's good on the ball, so we see what happens. But defensively, he may be challenged. So if something happened to Isaac Hayden, who to me may not be fit, we're in trouble. You're looking at midfield. Casey Palmer, sorry. Casey's when I met him, he's a nice guy. I met him a long time ago, but the way he has played for Jamaica, I don't know. It's challenged. K. Roy Anderson, like K. Roy, interviewed him about a couple of years ago. He and Len Makisa are great kids, but K. Roy game hasn't evolved to the level it needs to be. So when we look at our team and we think about, and I'll come to the forwards, and let's go to the defense, actually. Dexter. Where's Dexter playing? Kyle Duncan. Kyle is what, 28 New York Red Bulls? I don't know enough about him. I assume he's a decent player. But we had Tavon Gray. We had other people coming in. Hasn't really worked out. who played MLS football. King is on the bench. Pinnock not fit. Holgate barely have a team. Amari Bell, decent. Gregory at Oxford. I mean, and we were overly confident about her ability to qualify. Right now, we look ordinary. Then I go to my forward line. Kaheem Dixon over Marcel, really? Different levels, different skill set. Kaheem always seems to be the team. Everybody knows I'm a Kaheem supporter, but not at the expense of somebody I think maybe provide more value. The Gray's an imperative now. In fact, maybe they should put Gray in the 10 and not put him on the wing and play with Russell and Isaac in the midfield. That's the only solution I see there. Maybe I'm put Cephas out wide and tell him to hold his head up and put Tyrese on the right or vice versa. I don't know. It's confusing. And then in the middle of the park, who's their center forward? Warner Brown? Kadamarti? Young? Not familiar with the region. I'm glad he's in the team because I heard some YouTuber was knocking him the other day and said, I don't want him in the team. So I'm glad we have the sense to bring a youngster in who'd be a Jamaica forward for years. He keeps on improving. So it's not, I don't walk away with any confidence anymore. In fact, I'm probably depressed, to be fair. I'll be honest, I'm not, my confidence is way down. And I said I was going to come on and be very positive, but I'm sorry. The positivity is eluding me. I'm serious, it's eluding me. Look, this is not about the coach, right? The coach doesn't make players injured. The coach doesn't make players who don't have team, can't get situation. The coach doesn't control the passport process. There's so many different factors. You know, in Jamaica, they say that where you get Obia, it's like a Obia man thing, but people don't have papers, people don't have teams, people get injured, and it's a lot at the same time, right? It's a lot at the same time. Jason says Katamari looks fit and sharp for the season. Yeah. And for those who are knocking Katamari, and since I was informed a while ago about the process he went through to get a citizenship, I don't know how anybody could knock that kid. Like, I wouldn't do it. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not spending that much money. I'm not spending that much time. I'm not doing that much research. I ain't doing it. His process was not straightforward at all to get citizenship. So, and somebody texted me today. I won't say who texted me. A very one person texted me and they said, I'm going to tell you what the person said. Somebody texted me today. They said, did you hear our prime minister with his, I won't say what they say, that people born in Jamaica is the real Jamaican. I said, this is sentiments of a lot of Jamaicans. So even the prime minister, and by the way, people, I'm doing a show this evening, hopefully 9 o'clock, if I survive this, because I don't feel well. Do a show tonight on the debate and trying to assess the debate and provide my perspective on Balanced View, no, not this channel, on my Balanced View channel, 9 o'clock this evening. You should come join me. It should be a fun discussion. If those of you are interested in politics, some of you don't give a, you know what, you're interested in the football. But even the prime minister have that sentiment. I don't think the prime minister care about the football because I think what I was told was that it's the JFF is mainly a PMP affiliated organization, and JFP don't really care. And to me, it probably plays out that way. Now I want to get into the politics because I don't get into politics. No, nobody come do anything. But I'm not getting into the politics. But back to the team. It's unfortunate the way things are. Now, I'm going to touch upon the Greenwood situation. And people know I must say what's on my mind, and some people ain't going to like it. And do I care if they like it? No, they don't like it, they like it. Don't like it, they don't like it. So I'm going to put something up I'm going to try to put something up here. I'm going to take this down. I'm going to put something else up. Let me do this. Because this is important, people. Sometime in life, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. Let me see if I can find this. Yep, I think I got it. So this is called the Cotonou Agreement about Caribbean football in Europe. Individuals who have citizenship from Africa and the Caribbean, they get special dispensation, which allows them to play in European countries like France without being considered foreign-based. So there's an agreement between the Caribbean, the Pacific, Africa, and Europe, which gives special dispensation to certain players. as it says in the agreement signed by European Union with 77 states from Africa, Caribbean Pacific, it allows people from this region to play work freely in Europe. For football, this means players from these regions are not counted towards the quota of non-EU foreign players that many European domestics, including France League One, impose. How it works is that the agreement is based on the principle of free movement of labor, which extends certain rights to EU citizens to national signatories. So England, for example, which was part of the EU, is no longer part of the EU, right? Most European leagues have restrictions on the number of non-EU players. So if you're from England, you don't have, if you're from England, like Greenwood and Jonathan Rowe, you're no longer an EU player, you're not part of the EU, right? So most European leagues have restrictions on the number of non-EU players that you can have in their squad. The agreement allows players from the sort of ACP countries to bypass these restrictions. And it says, practical example, a player from the Caribbean nation like Jamaica is treated differently than a player from a non-EU country without the special dispensation agreement. If you're from Brazil, if you're from South America, or if you're from England, you ain't get this disposition. Now, why do I bring this up? Why do I bring this up, people? I think it's important. Why do I bring this up? Why do I bring this up? Because I believe, and people, I'm just going to keep on my mouth, I'm say it. Because me just say what in my mind. I'm going to live with the consequences. I believe we were used by Greenwood and his people. That's my view. Nobody tell me this, that's my view. And here was my view. Jonathan Rowe got his Jamaican passport and citizenship on his own vacation, on his own accord. He didn't go through any JFF. And he utilized that when he's at Marseille to be a non-EU player. I think Greenwood and his people learned of this and did the same thing. You cannot, and as the coach says, because you can hear the coach's voice, And I know people in the administration and the coach are trying to play this down. I ain't playing it down. Because that's my view. And I'm a regular person, YouTuber who don't know nothing about football. I think I have a brain. And some other YouTuber had actually mentioned this. Not me, the first person. I think JT mentioned this previously. Even though I had known about this for a while in terms of my own thinking and assessment. He got his papers so he can align the rules, because now he ain't playing no football in England. So if he go to Spain, if he go to Germany, if he go to France, because he can play football in England, because that's where the money is, unless he go to MLS and be one of those exclusionary players, he can play without being deemed a foreign player. I think we're being used. So Jason Guna says, Cranky, where did you get that from? The country has to have a colonial title to France. Why would Jamaica have an exception? It does. It does. I don't know about a colonial title to France. Did it say that here? Did it say that here? It says like Jamaica. That's my understanding that Jamaica. That's why Jonathan wrote it. So I agree with it. If I'm wrong, Jason Gunnar. And I'm on a colonial time. That's what I was taught. And let me ask this, Jason Gunnar. Why would anybody spend so much time pushing to get their papers and decide I'm not going to play? It's going to be one of two reasons. It's one of two reasons. Either they have been giving some hope by England, or they were using Jamaica to be a non-foreign player, right? So I walk away saying, I must say this, I don't care anymore if Greenwood can play with Jamaica. Me not care. I don't care if he's world class. I don't care if he's Pele. I don't care if he's Maradona. I don't care if he comes, and I want him in my team. A lot of us have made ethical decisions about Mason Greenwood. Because I'm not going to let me tell you, I can't leave no one, I tell you the truth. Ethical decision about Mason Greenwood, right or wrong, right? Because you have to be convicted in the court of law. We have bent over backwards. And what the player's done is not okay. You guys know how I am, right? I do try to be fair. I do try to be objective. I do try to look at different angles for different things. If we don't make World Cup, and if we go make a World Cup in Greenwood, I don't want to watch Jamaica play. If here's my philosophy in life, people. If you use me, I don't want to deal with you. If you use me to achieve your objective in the way that I think it's being done, I don't want to deal with you. There is no excuse for him not to come. I don't care what nobody can tell me. I know the JFF and the coach are walking a very tight. I ain't gotta walk on tightrope. Now I want a tightrope. Let me stop watching Jamaica football. Now I want a tightrope. Now I want a tightrope. Keep your tightrope to yourself. It is not okay for him not to come. It's not, and there's no excuse for him not to come. None. I don't want Mr. Greenwood to come play for Jamaica anymore. Now, here my view is different from Conor Martino. Because I knew the Conor Martino situation and I knew what transpired, what the rationale was. So if Amari Hutchinson want to come, that's his prerogative. I don't feel that bad about Amari Hutchinson. But the way the process was to get Greenwood and went back and forth and everybody get excited, and when people like Maverick was calling JFF Vulture, I was saying he's XYZ and Figure. I'm sorry. I'm making a statement speculation, so I'm gonna keep speculating. Most times I'm making people, let me just say this. You may not understand this. Most times I'm making speculation. You guys think what you want to think? Okay. Greenwood got his green card, everybody was happy. Not green card, sorry. He got his passport, everybody was happy. And then we can't get nothing to tell us why he decided that he doesn't want to play. He don't want to play international football this time. So if you don't play international football this time, why you get your papers? Jason Guna, you please explain that to me, Jason Guna. You have no need to, you don't want to play football, but you're pushing to get those papers, right? Because you're going to get them, you're going to get them, and you got them, you get excited, and you say, I don't want to play international football, I'm not considering it. Then you know what? Don't play for us, because you know you're playing for England. Don't play international football. Play your club football, make your money, be good. Don't come play for us. I do not want to watch Mason Greenwood play football for Jamaica. I don't. When it comes to Vic Salman, I don't really care what anybody think about it. That's my view. I don't want to see Mason Greenwood come play for Jamaica. What he did was not forgivable, in my view. Not forgivable. You use people, you use us for whatever objectives. And Jason would have said, but it doesn't work, Frankie, you have it wrong. It's those colonial of France. Jason, I just read what the thing said, right? And I know Jonathan Rowe did the same thing. What did Jonathan Rowe did? Because he came from England, Jason. What did Jonathan Rowe did it? Maybe you guys can explain that to me. So maybe say I'm wrong, Jason. Tell me why Jonathan Rowe did it when Jonathan Rowe had no desire really at this point to play for Jamaica. We should. I do not care. Now Hayden was not worse. Hayden said he wants to play for England. You guys are conflating these things and confusing these things. Stop the nonsense. Hayden is not worse. He said he want to play for England until his knees give out. He's born in England. He should want to play for England until he can't walk anymore. Right? That's what he should do. This is different. You told me to go get the passport. It's like Hayden come and say, you know what? Give me the passport and get me the visa. And then I say I'm not playing. When you spend your time, go get it and say not playing. I think that Jamaica, go ahead. If you don't come, don't care. When the coach talked about we're getting young players and the young players think help us for the future, we will have no better time in history to make the World Cup. It's almost impossible for us to make the World Cup. There's only 3 places, unless they increase the number of places. When we have US, Mexico, and Canada, much more resources and better players. It's difficult. They're only getting better. The distance is going like this. Jamaica not getting no better. We don't want to bring in foreign-born players in the team for whatever reason. And we're not developing our football as well as we should. Damien, whatever, Damien. The player got his papers, Damien. Damien explained. He got his papers and he said he don't want to play international football. And he was pushing against papers, Damien. Please explain, Damien, why he got his papers. Can you guys in the chat, like Jason and Damien, who are contradicting me, because you guys think you know the facts, please explain to me when he got his papers when he said he don't want to play international football. All right? And England said, fine, you can go play for Jamaica. And supposedly, he had asked to change allegiance. Can anybody explain that to me? You asked to change allegiance. You pushed to get your papers. You are not injured. And you say you ain't coming? Wow. You guys didn't watch a coach. You guys need to look at nonverbal communication because you're not looking at the verbal communication. Look at the coach's face. Look at how the coach sound. Look at him want to cry. When I cry, I'm not crying. Yeah, he does, Chris Smith. And Chris Smith, please not take up a Mason Greenwood, Chris Smith. Me not have a Chris Smith. I'm gonna stop doing it. I'm not too partial. Don't make no allowance for him. He used the JFF to get his passport. You can get your passport. I wouldn't have got my passport on my own, Chris Smith. On my own. Went to the don't use it. Why you go to the JFF, Chris Smith? Why you ask to change for allegiance? I'm gonna stop the nonsense, man. You guys want to make ultimate excuses for certain people. I'm not making those excuses. Don't make the excuse. I was the one who was pushing for Mason Greenwood. I was the one who's making case against Greenwood. So you can't tell me nothing. You don't want to tell me nothing. I'm gonna stop it. Stop it. I'm gonna become a hypocrite. Chris, I don't want to become a hypocrite. I know I'm a Chris. I'm becoming a hypocrite. Don't have it both ways. I look at a player, don't want to beat them. When it comes to this, I don't want to beat them. Stop it. Stop it, Chris. No, stop it, man. People are close on the show. And because I have a show to do tonight. I have a 9 o'clock show to do. And assessing the debate, much more important. Because the football depressed me. I don't want to get depressed. Football depressed. You get emotive in these things, get depressed. I have a show to do tonight where I'm looking at the debate between Dr. Holness and Mark Golden and provide my perspective. I am not going to listen to the nonsense. I'm not going to sit here and people making excuses for a player when we shouldn't be making excuses for. I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to it. Don't want to hear the excuse. Because I'm more disappointed than anybody else. I cannot believe I'm hearing that nonsense. I can't believe I'm hearing that nonsense. I'm the one pushing the player when he comes, he's world class and XYZ. I don't want to hear no excuse about Mason Greenwood. I don't want Mason Greenwood in my team. I don't. And please don't tell me anything that you're going to tell me because you can't change my mind. If you come play, I may not even watch. Don't blame the JFF people. Tafari, stop the nonsense. This has nothing to do with no JFF. JFF not dropping the ball. Mason Greenwood dropped the ball. I sound like Maverick? Because sometimes I say, people, sometimes you know what you know. Okay? Sometimes in life, you know what you know. If you don't play in the qualifiers, we shouldn't have it. I don't want him playing no qualifier. I don't want him to come at all. And when somebody diss you in Jamaica, you just move on. Somebody diss you, if a woman diss you, and she cheat on you, trade her in, transfer. If somebody diss you with it, transfer them people. I tell you the truth, transfer them. Me transfer him, come to my club, the bomb squad. I do not care if he comes. I tell you, I don't care if he comes. And sometimes in life, you know what you know, right? You know enough to be dangerous, and I know enough to be dangerous. I went on a rant. Yeah, I went on a rant because people here are annoying me with their nonsense, and they don't know what they don't know. I make an excuse for somebody because he's a good player. We do that all the time, We make excuses for talent. And then, you know why it's disappointing people? You know why it's disappointing? Here's why it's disappointing. Look at the squad. You think we're much better than Trinidad with the squad? You think we're much better than, I don't know about Bermuda, I've seen them play. You guys think we're much better than Trinidad with the squad? Really? Much better than Trinidad, really? Much better than Curacao, really? We're bringing in the whole Eredivisie team. Anybody who have affiliation with Curacao that's live in Netherlands are in the team. I don't know. Talking about football and getting depressing people. I'm gonna cut back my Reggae Boy engagement. I have to. I'm gonna do more track and field. At least in track and field, it's individual events, even though we have people going to Turkey. What's happening to Jamaica people? Things are not what they should be. They've been ditched at the altar, being ditched. Demar says Greenwood is waiting on team selection. No, that's not it. Greenwood is waiting on England call-up. They told him just wait or a year or two. They called him when he's got on. I don't know what he's waiting for. I don't really care if he turns up. Hey, Chris Smith, I know this, Chris. Chris, I know this. When somebody's playing a game with you, Chris, you should cut your losses. Okay, Chris? When somebody's playing games with you, you should cut your losses. Man playing games with us, and then people want to make excuses for him. Don't make excuses for people, those way people. If he wants to come play, look, you know how much effort has been put in trying to get Mason Greenwood here? There has to be. Right? First we hear his mom, and they play Jamaica back. First we hear what's his name come out and say his mom didn't want to sign some paper, right? Whether that was true or not, it's another story. And then we hear it was signed. So we thought when it was signed, we have relief. He got his papers, and everybody's like, "If Ford can go score," as you hear the question was asked, we can't score goal. And then we are hearing that this player is not turning up, and people want to make excuses for him. Are we for real? Like, really? I will say again, I do not care ever if Mason Greenwood can play for Jamaica. Ever. I may not even watch Jamaica if Mason Greenwood can play for Jamaica. And people use the people because I think we're being used, then you shouldn't engage with them. You should leave them alone. So do your thing. It's not, and this squad here is no Blake, no Reed, play, because here's the problem, people. It's the beginning of the season. And a lot of players here are just starting out, coming off injury. I mean, look at the defense. We don't know what situation Pinnock is in. King has played a few games, but he's on the bench. Damien, we don't know if Damien playing any football. We don't know a ton about Ty Duncan, even though we know he's at Red Bulls and probably playing regularly. Lemakisa, we don't know how much football he's playing. I mean, every section you go in that's defense, midfielder, forward, you have major concerns. Major. Nobody asked the Rebel question. No Rebel. Nobody asked the Rebel question. I guess people got tired of it. I know, right? I think 40 people are traitor, I guess. Yeah, Ray Ball. I mean, I was one of the biggest advocates, as people may know, of Mason coming to join. I made the case for and against and came out for it, probably because I want to play a complaint. So I'm a hypocrite, frankly. And then I don't hear any, the JFF was silent on this. Didn't the president say Mason coming? People, didn't the president say Mason coming? And I told you guys he wasn't coming. Even when the president said so, people said you don't know what you're talking about, cranky. It was like running your mouth if you didn't know everything about everything. When the president said so, I say he ain't coming. Because I didn't hear anything from any corner say he's coming, apart from the president. And the president does get overly exuberant about things sometimes. I knew Robert was going to be included a long time ago. It's, I don't know, people. We'll see what happens. If you look at the forward line, which forward is in form? Kaim Dixon playing in the League 2, is he in form? I know he's playing decent for his team, but Gray playing much better. The coach is very pleased with Gray. We don't have no insight into Russia, so we don't want to see what he's doing. Tyrese Campbell, I'm getting mixed reviews on. Warner Brown, season still early. Tanner Marty, coach team encouraged by him. So who you start with? You gonna start Tanner Marty? I don't. We came into this work of qualifiers very optimistic, given the level of talent that we thought we had. We played the Unity Cup, and that exuberance went up 2 notches. We played in Jamaica against Guatemala, albeit it wasn't their best team. Scored 3, and we were over the moon. We go to the Gold Cup. We played BVI before that game and didn't look good. And then we played in the Gold Cup, and we came back down to earth because we were beyond poor. And now we come into this window, early part of the season, 2 big games, and the team we're picking is okay. Big S says, pick a starting 11 from this group. People, the phone line open. You can call in. We're not picking no starting 11. We can't pick a starting 11. With the press. The press. No, I'm the press. I'm going to close on the stream soon, people, because I got to go prepare for my assessment of the debate between the Prime Minister and the opposition leader. So, but I'll say this, which is this. I am wishing the best for the Reggae Boyz. The coach didn't say, I didn't analyze the press conference, but the questions and the coach just said the same, repeated. Jamar Johnson didn't come, Tyrese didn't come, Bobby Reed injured. Why didn't you pick Stewart? Why didn't you pick Campbell? Blah, same thing, different. So nothing Nothing there to truly analyze. It's what we expect. It is what it is. My hope is that the players perform above expectation and we get 2 positive outcomes. Now, look, I'm not going to blame the JFF for Greenwood. Right? You're forsaking Jamaica, Omar. Now, DC, I'm not blaming JFF for the Greenwood situation. I'm not. I know enough to know that this is not no JFF. I blame the JFF for a lot of things. This is not one of them. This is not one of them. It rests with the player, people. They went and got him his passport. They've been telling you from a year now that it's being held up on his side. Why you say you want to come play if you don't want to come play? Because the people make an excuse for the person. So you make an excuse for somebody which is inexcusable. You say you want to come. You ask England FA to change allegiance. You ask Jamaica to get you your papers. They say no. And then we have the audacity to be making excuses. Are we out of our mind? And people, are we out of our mind? Are we really thinking? If you look at the entirety of body of work, we were bamboozled. It would be like, what's his name? We were bamboozled, we were hoodwinked, we were tricked, we were fooled, and we fell for it. And it is what it is. But if you fool me once, you ain't gonna fool me twice. They ain't get no 3 times. Now, look, Chris, I don't disagree with you about the JFF. I've talked about it, right? People who have followed my channel know I've talked about JFF and some of their deficiencies and what they haven't done and what they have done, right? I've talked about it ad nauseum. In this case, this is not about the JFF. When JFF don't do something, they should get blamed. It's not. First of all, JFF couldn't recruit Greenwood because he wanted to play for England, and he was good enough to play for England. He was going to play for Jamaica. That's a fact. He only followed Jamaica because of what transpired. And we said, we were forgiven. We said, welcome. Right? We said, welcome. We had people like, what's his name? Presser, who had a thing before where we knocked him for criticizing him. We had the person come on Sportsmax who say still uncomfortable with Greenwood, and we knocked him, including yours truly, of being sanctimonious. Maybe we were the one who didn't have no ethics. Maybe we were the ones who were confused. And now the player is telling us, I got my papers, I don't need you anymore. And we have people in the chat like Jason who pushing back on me about colonial affiliation, or Chris who pushing back on me about, really? First of all, people, most time I come to these forums, I say most time, because sometimes you get information that needs to be updated. I have an idea what I'm talking about, okay? I'm coming like you come run my mouth because I like to run my mouth. Or I do my own assessment and I draw my own conclusion. It may sometimes not be totally accurate, but if I line up, and I said this the other day to you guys, I told you guys that man wasn't coming way back when. I said, listen with your brain and not with your ears, only with your ears. I did tell you guys this, but some of you weren't listening. And it came to fruition. It came to fruition because the player used Jamaica. And I hope he and his people see this video. You use Jamaica, and it's not okay. This is a whole country of people. You using Jamaica is not okay. You guys are not good people. So I said, you're not good people. All of you affiliated and irresponsible with this, you're not good people. And I don't believe in this karma nonsense, because karma is nonsense to me. You're not good people. So, you know what? I don't want you in my space. I don't want to be in your space. Bye. So I'll move on from Mason Greenwood. And I follow Mason Greenwood. I watch him score 24 goals and 3 assists in 30-something games and get excited. I have moved on. Done. Close that chapter. Omar Hutchinson is a different story. Greenwood never came to Jamaica to go through what Omar went through. But Omar also managed his career. Omar didn't want to be kept. Okay? BM, let's get that straight. He didn't want to be kept. He probably used Jamaica to get more notoriety to get his moves. Okay? You guys need to stop it. Yeah, Jamaica didn't treat him right. They booed him. They asked him questions about Whisper when he was one who played. It wasn't the best experience for him. But he also is look what he's moved from Arsenal to Chelsea to Ipswich to Nottingham Forest. They manage his career brilliantly, and they use who they need to use to achieve their objective. Hutchinson, bye. people. When people not going to add value to you, you move on, they move on. Okay? I have moved on from Hutchinson. I have moved on from Mason Greenwood. I'm looking forward to the player who can help us. Where is Mothersill? Why is Mothersill in the squad? Why is Dixon there instead of Mothersill? That's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on Hutchinson. I'm not focused on Jonathan Rowe. I'm not focused on Greenwood. They're not part of my team. I don't care if they're part of my team. I'm moving on. Cranky, never see an interview. People. Chris Smith. Chris, let me say something, Chris. I'm going to say it one last time, Chris. I know what I know. I know what I know. Okay? I know what I know. Somebody said to me, they said Jamaica is not included in the continental agreement. That's not what I was told, but okay. Maybe I got it wrong from my source. But I was told that by a good source that was the case. Regardless of the continental agreement, I was told that by a good source. So anyway, so maybe you can explain to me why Greenwood not playing for Jamaica. Please explain to me. Nah, he wasn't right about Catamarti. Sorry, I'm not with the Catamarti thing. He wasn't right about Catamarti. Like I said before, if Greenwood come play for Jamaica, I don't care. He said he was going to come. He told the FA to change him. I was told that Tuchel wanted him but couldn't take the risk. Okay? I was told that Tuchel wanted him but couldn't take the risk. I was told Tuchel they don't take the risk. So anyway, Greenwood probably came to Jamaica and told him he wants to play and for them to help him so he could play Jamaica. People, whatever Greenwood reason is, let's say the Concord agreement that I read through, which I got from a good source, is wrong. Let's say it's wrong. Please explain to me why Greenwood don't want to play for Jamaica. Somebody in England must have told him something then. Frankly, why not Dixon and Jamaica to get a good club? How did I just see Jamaica, none of the young players in paper? So, Chris, here's how the process I think works. If you play for Jamaica, you get more prominence. If you play the national football, you get more prominence. You look when Charlton, any of those clubs talk about their player, they will say Jamaica International. There's more prominence associated with it. Hutchinson moved from Arsenal to Chelsea because he wasn't comfortable that Arteta was giving him game time. He then pushed to go down loan from Chelsea to go to Ipswich. They managed his career well. I was told he didn't want to be capped. And that's why he played in friendly, but he was managing his cap situation. And he thought that Paul Hall wanted to cap him. And he was upset about it. He was upset about getting capped. If you get capped, you can't go back in allegiance. So, Chris, you guys can make excuses all you want to make, Chris, okay? I was told he didn't want to be capped by Paul Hall. And he was upset that Paul wanted to cap him and lock him down because everyone would do that. Just like I was told that there were a couple of young players who we wanted to cap and who didn't want to get capped. It happens. It happens. But say I'm wrong about the continental agreement, which I got from my source. So my source is wrong, right? You guys please tell me why Greenwood said not play for Jamaica with no explanation. The coach can give an explanation. He don't want to play at this time. He's not injured. We've been going through this for about a year now. No, stop it, man. Stop it. Let me say it before. I changed my mind. He doesn't want to play for Jamaica? Fine. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. If he doesn't want to play, keep it moving. I am not going to be perturbed with Greenwood. I wish him the best. I hope he does really well. We continue to do well. I don't care if he can play for us or not. I ain't losing any sleep about it. Yeah, I'm telling you what I was told, Chris, from good sources, okay? You don't like my sources, Chris? Chris, you always make an excuse for certain players, Chris. Always. And you can't even see it. You're blind to it. You always make an excuse for certain players. I'm not making an excuse for anybody. If you do right by me and my country, I am fine with you. If you don't, Hutchinson has done a brilliant job with his people of managing his career. good luck to you. You don't want to come back and play for Jamaica? Go play for England. Wait for England. It's all good. Sometimes people come to Jamaica, they don't like the experience, the horrible experience. And they're not used to that kind of treatment. They're special in their discipline. That's fine. That's their prerogative. But don't create hope in a whole nation of football fans and then take it away from them and think it's going to be okay. Right? Don't create hope in football fans and then take it away. That's not good. That's not okay. That's not okay. And the coach couldn't explain, because the coach said he talked to Greenwood. Even though half of what he said didn't make any sense to me. You say he spoke to Greenwood, and he doesn't want to play at this time. And what's the reason for not playing? Yeah, I don't think he wants. Look, I'm not even mad at Hutchinson, right? I'm not mad at any little kid who come of their own volition. But when you ask an affiliation, when you ask a country association to go get your papers for you and help you get your papers, when you tell your current affiliation, I'm going to change allegiance, supposedly, when this affiliation, because people have been going to the FIFA website, trying to check to see affiliation change, No allegiance changed with me. Greenwood had no desire to change the association because the request for change was never made. So let's say you have to wait to get your papers first. They've never made. Okay. Chris, like I said before, Chris, there's always three sides to every story. Always three sides, right? There's certain players, like, for example, Jed Spence, who I love as a player, but who say I want to play for England? I'm going to wait for England. I know people have spoken to his mom about this, want to play for England. I know he's in the England squad. I have no problem with that. You're born in the country, that's why you should aspire to play for that country. But if you decide you're going to come play for us, then make a decision. Don't come. Say, I don't blame Hutchinson. I'm not mad at Hutchinson. You can vacillate, but don't come in a situation where what Hutchinson did, what Greenwood did. So there's a difference. Kind of March is different from Hutchinson, different from Greenwood. And like I said before, I'm done talking about Greenwood. I don't want to ever talk about Greenwood again. Period. I wish the kid luck. I hope he does exceedingly well. Hope he continues to be successful. But I don't like a situation where someone is going to do something like he did. A whole nation has a fixation. You took that away from them, and then have a bunch of people making excuses for you. And then everybody want to be in the JFF for everything. JFF doesn't turn water into wine, and they don't walk on water. Yes, they are either negligent, sometimes incompetent, sometimes deficient, but they ain't the one responsible for every single thing that goes wrong. Okay? So whatever Greenwood rationale is, if we say the continental agreement doesn't apply to Greenwood because he's not a colonial, I got from some source that my source is wrong. This happens sometimes. Those people who are making excuses for Greenwood, please explain why he's not come. And no, you can't. What did JFF do to Greenwood? He has never come to Jamaica. He's never had to play his own way. The JFF didn't leave him stranded. His equipment didn't leave. We know all the things that the girls went through. We know all the things that the boys went through before when things changed. And more recently, we have heard all these negative stories. I still don't hear why he don't come to Jamaica. All right. So people, let's focus on the squad. People, promise me we won't talk about Greenwood anymore. And yours truly will try to do the same. Please focus on the squad. The squad has some challenges. Let's think about the positive. Jamali Way can cover for Blake. I'm struggling. I was hoping that Tyreek Mitchell and Rico Henry would be here, so we could be creative with the formation. Maybe employ some Amarin type setup where we play three at the back and play Rico as a wing back or something, because that's what he plays for Brentford sometimes. But that's not happening. So maybe we have Ethan Pinnock beside Lowe or Holgate, Amari Bell at left back, and and Dexter right back, with Kyle backing him up, Lade backing up Amari Bell, and Richard King backing up the two center halves. Well, Richard King and Mason Holgate by two center halves. Or we play Holgate with Pinnock, but either way, I'm not jumping on top of the bridge. Yeah. Crying. Well, he's put Tavares said crying. He didn't play with Jamaica because of the petition and the conflict coming to the jail. So only my credit watch now. No, come on, Tavares, man. Let's be serious. All right, Chris. As I said before, Chris, you're not impartial, Chris. Trust me, you're not impartial. Your way of reasoning, Chris, is one-dimensional. I'm gonna call you out, Chris. You're not impartial, Chris. Not impartial. Nobody did not just say anything, but you can't complain. Yeah, but you know what? The funny people, players only get sent to go play for Jamaica and they get criticized. When you go to England, they get destroyed. Destroyed. You go to Villa, go to Birmingham, go to Arsenal. Players get reamed and destroyed, and they ain't whining and complaining about it. They ain't putting their chest out. You know what? They ain't respecting Jamaica. That's why some of them act the way they do. They think we don't have a right to criticize them. Anybody get criticized? Anybody get criticized? Anybody get criticized? And they're subject to criticism just like anybody else. You play well, you get praised. Don't play well, you get criticized. So my defense, if I look at it, Bell, I don't know if the coach can play in the middle. I think Bell and Dexter almost are logical in terms of the right and left back. In the middle, he's going to probably start Ethan Pinnock, even though he said he only played 60 minutes and he wasn't being fit. I have no idea who can play the right center back. In the midfield, Isaac's going to start, John Russell start. It look like Casey Palmer, given the availability of people there. Ian Frey backs up Isaac. Don't we have like 4 CDM? Is Josh Anglin an 8 or a CDM? I think I've only probably seen him play once. Lambert is a CDM, can also play center half. Frey, if he's in the middle, probably a CDM, he plays right back. Isaac is a CDM. So we don't have any 10. Excuse my French. Nobody in the 10? Wow. He's being seen, gang stalking. Nobody's in the 10. We don't have no 10. So we're going to play Gray in the 10, play a Cephas left, play a Dixon right. And I don't know what the center forward is. As I say, Chris, you go make it to for Hutchinson. I'm not next week for Hutchinson. I have no problem with that. If Hutchinson can play for Jamaica, it's his prerogative. If Jonathan Rowe can play for Jamaica, it's his prerogative. Even though somebody from England told me Rowe tried to get into Jamaica team or come play and we didn't take him or something, then somebody disputed that. All these people give all these sources, sometimes I just fail. So Anglin came up into last night with a hamstring injury. So they should have a replacement. Why do they call Mothersill? So because Mothersill can play the 10, you know. We don't have any 10s. Well, the Gold Cup, we only selected 2 midfielders. At least we're better this time. Why wouldn't we call Mothersill? I know Mothersill has his citizenship. He doesn't have his passport. Take you one day. He could come to Jamaica and get his passport. Yeah, I know that actually. But Ian Frey to me can't really run. So I'm always concerned Ian playing about his knees. I actually advised about the 10. You know what? Maybe I will do that. Mothersill injured? I didn't know Mothersill was injured. Is everybody injured, people? Antonio might start, but Antonio playing under 21 football. And then you guys drop things in the chat, you just get people more and more depressed. So Mothersill injured about a week now. So why they put him in the 44-man squad or 45-man squad? Jason said, no, Jason's coming. Jason said, tell the press we play with 2-8, so that is the plan. We play play 3 across? Okay. Okay. We play flat 3, or we play, is a single pivot we're playing with? And 2 in front of the single pivot? Or we're playing 3 across? Frankie getting into his feelings. No, I'm calm down. I'm good now. Antonio Business probably should go to Trapente or Borrell. Look, the coach likes certain players around him, and the coach feel good about Antonio. We don't have any better players than people. It is what it is. I know, Chris, what I said, Chris. I see Dixon play. But we can't start Hutchinson, Chris. We can't start Hutchinson because he's not here. We can't start Greenwood because he's not here. You gotta start somebody. When Dixon played for Jamaica, he plays okay. I don't care what league he's playing in. He plays okay for Jamaica. Last time he came on, he hit the upright. He plays okay for Jamaica. He scored goals for Jamaica. He plays okay for Jamaica. I know what level he's playing at. But I just saw Grimsby Town beat Man U and their League 2. Okay, Chris? I didn't see Grimsby Town. Didn't look out of place. Beat Man U, who ran off Arsenal at the pitch. Some people who play at lower level can play some football. Okay? It doesn't. We don't have to beat them all the time. And the coach liked him. The coach didn't like him, he wouldn't call him. He's seen enough to not call him. He called him. Yeah, everybody has different. I will tell you, Jason, everybody have a different view on things. If people give information, somebody call me about somebody being injured and I check the person playing, it happens all the time. So sometimes you got to take these things like a grain of salt. Is Gray my starting lineup? Of course, Gray's in the starting lineup. What do you mean? What kind of question is that? Gray's either left or the 10. If he's playing 3 across and Gray plays left, maybe you're going to put Cephas on the right, and I have no idea who plays center forward. I don't think he's going to start Conor Marty. So he probably started Warner Brown. I don't know. It's probably the first team that's been picked in a while where I sit down the team and I'm confused. Yeah, I don't know, Chris, on these players. I would think a lot of people have been calling for DJ, right? People don't understand how DJ is playing in Turkey. Has played for the team a long time, has been forgotten. I don't think that's the coach, though. The coach made a very profound statement today. The coach basically said today, in my own words, I didn't know the players. Moran God knew the players. He picked the local players. That's what I heard from the coach. Not especially as that, but that's what I heard from the coach. So and I'm not calling DJ a local player, but DJ's a player that's been playing national team for a while. So if you're playing in Turkey, the coach doesn't know you. Probably never heard your name. And Moran doesn't call you. You didn't call. Chabana Stewart doesn't get called. Norman Cameron doesn't get called. Flemmo don't get called. All get called because maybe Moran they're not good enough. Or the other people he has, he preferred them to those players. It's only can call 26, And only 23 people going to travel. If I look at the forward line, you notice I don't mention Shamar, because last time I see Shamar played, he was going south versus north. I just wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed with Shamar. Has he got better? I don't know. I watched him play. So when I look at the squad, I'm not jumping around and say, I said to somebody way back when from Trinidad that we guaranteed to go to the World Cup despite the coach. Sometimes you have to eat crow. Right now I'm eating a lot of crow. Because I don't know if we're going to go to the World Cup. I am not confident we're going to go to the World Cup. I am very deflated about the situation. Martin did the coach like Tyrese. I don't know if he likes Tyrese. Tyrese is in the squad. Yeah, but also Dixon is 21 years old, and Dixon doesn't come off a major car injury. Okay, Chris? There's a difference. Dixon just almost didn't lose his life and was how much months in the hospital and took him much time to recover. And he's young. So, yeah. I'm not going to be Dixon. Look, I've said it before, right? You hear me say it. I don't understand how Dixon plays with Tyrese, but I'm not going to harp on Dixon. He's one of 26. The other players to harp on. Because most time he doesn't start. Most time he's not starting. 99% of the time he's not starting. So I'm not going to harp on Dixon. When he played Unity Cup, he played fine. When he came on the other day in Gold Cup, he played fine. So I'm going to harp on him. Let's harp on somebody else. Let's harp on the people who are not producing. Let's harp on Casey Palmer, who's had a horrendous time. With the last game he played, people say he shouldn't come back because he played with the ball and gave away a goal and didn't run back and play with attitude. Got himself, can't play a game because he got in confrontation with some reporter or something. Why we beat Dixon? We don't want to beat those players. If we're going to criticize, I don't think we should beat anybody, but going to criticize, be fair with the criticism. Let's not pick on certain players 24/7 because we don't rate their ability. Be fair about how we assess everybody. I got nothing against. I mean, Claude used to kill me about Dixon versus Antonio, but Antonio wasn't scoring goals. 2 goals to give away. Yeah, he hasn't. Yeah. I mean, it's all the same, people. But anyway, it's almost 8 o'clock. I have a show at 9 o'clock, which I'm not prepared for. I'm going to go prepare for because I saw my I saw the. I'm going to say my prime minister, but it's not my prime minister. I'm not JLP or PMP people, but when you tell people if you're born in Jamaica, you're not a Jamaican. When his mentor was born in Boston, Massachusetts, who's the leader party, that's not okay. I've never voted. I would never vote in Jamaica election. I don't think I will. I'm not PMP. I'm not JLP. I'm an independent person who hates xenophobia, who hate people saying things which are not fair. And how could somebody who supposed to uphold the Constitution gonna say? And I was making excuses for the Prime Minister when he said that. I went back and checked. Because you want to make a point with the opposition leader, he then went way over. Joe Ross. We don't want no context, Joe Ross. We don't want no context. Now you trying to make a opposition. You can't make no statement, Joe Ross. Can't make no statement. Can't make no statement because it says how you think. But people are their side. I'm not taking them side because if I'm going to judge a debate, performance, I can't judge him because I like what he says. He knows what it is. Yeah, look, I mean, I thought it was a great line actually when he said, "I'm gonna give you a copy of my birth certificate." There doozies, but the debate is about substance, and my disappointment in the debate. I don't want to digress the debate yet, but people don't come watch Balance View this evening. We're talking politics, and I know people. We really have to try to manage our preferences and manage our biases. We make excuses for things which are not excusable. We do a brilliant job of making excuses for things which are not excusable. And the 2 examples here, when a leader of a country made a statement that he made, I don't care in what context, the context doesn't matter to me. Secondly, when you use me for whatever reason, so let's say Cranky is totally wrong with what he presented because he got it from some source. I didn't just make it up. You still haven't explained to me why the player chose not to play for us. And if I'm going to put my neck on the line and try to have the player come in and bend over backwards, and then the player disappoint me, I'm going to wash my hands. So I've washed my hands. So let me say this again, because JFM is still hopeful. The coach is still hopeful. I don't care if he come and play for us. I have moved on. My hope is that us as a people truly try to function as a people and not disparate parts as we do it a lot of times. Okay? So, in summary, the squad is here. Let's support the players. Let's support the team. Please go to the game because you hear the question that was asked about the 12th man and you hear the coach disappointment in saying Nicaragua, Guatemala. What he's basically saying is that, and when we play Guatemala and Jamaica, he was good with the support. He always talked about when he goes away and the support they get. If you're in Jamaica, and I can't reach this time, we have to support the team. Please go to the game. It's not expensive. Please go to the game. Please support the team. We do want to go to the World Cup. Regardless of whatever setbacks we have, I was taught this in the military. And I learned this throughout my life, and I live with that motto. The military always tell you, if they say go climb up this mountain and go take that foxhole, they always tell you, I don't care about your excuses. Just get it done. I don't care what obstacle you have to overcome. Just get it done. Figure it out. So if we have players injured, if we have players out of form, if we have players that want to come play for us, those who are available, those who are the soldiers in the trenches, just get it done. Just don't focus on the negative. Just get it done. All right, people. Peace out. Good night. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. As you leave the chat, let's all hope. I can't say pray. Let's all hope that things work out good for us. Two things. I have a short 9 o'clock on Balanced View, setting the debate. And secondly, tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. on this channel, on Balanced View, I'll be having a discussion with Pastor Lansley Blake, who's a pastor, to talk about the God question. Some of you may not love that, but it is what it is. Thanks for being here, people. I do appreciate you. And I'm gonna say good night because I want you to come watch me on Balanced View. So go get something to eat and come back later. All right? Peace out.
Frankie Life is the place to be now. For the best sports talk and it's free, yo. Frankie Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Frankie Life, tell them. Frankie Life, heed them. Frankie Life, want them. Cranky Life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Cranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Cranky Life, tell them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Cranky Life, get to know the name because Cranky analysis is never lame. Cranky Life, give me my Cranky Life. I want my Cranky Life. Must have my Cranky Life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Cranky Life. Tell them, Cranky Life. Heed them, Cranky Life. Want them, Cranky Life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Life. Tune into Cranky Life. Like up Cranky Life. Subscribe to Cranky Life. Cranky Life coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Life sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Life. Me say fi tell them Cranky Life. Me say fi heed them Cranky Life. On them Cranky Life. Cranky Life will be around. Cranky Life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Cranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Heed, want, heed them.